This episode starts with something green flying around the Fantastic Four's building. Ben's alarm goes off at 4 in the morning but smashes it. Johnny wakes up at the sound of this thing. Susan as well but goes invisible. And Reed, you'd think he is working overtime on something, but he is playing chess with his system. But the system glitches, and its final words before shutting down is, "Doom." The green thing enters the building and destroys a gate to a place where Reed keeps all sacred things he took from each villain, and steals Doom's mask. Johnny wakes up and knocks on Ben's door after the prank he did on him, but Ben is thrown across the walls by robot monsters, and attacks Susan and Johnny. But Reed appears all of a sudden, and saves them. As Reed explains to the rest of the team that his system has been compromised, it interrupts him, but it was Dr. Doom speaking instead, and warning the Fantastic Four, especially Reed. Susan asks Reed what he might want this time, and his hologram appears in front of her, assuring her that he wants their complete destruction, and they will pay the price, but Reed interrupts them and locates his location, hopefully. One of the robots attacked Johnny, and Reed and Susan were on their way out. They came across their old neighbors complaining about the noise at such a late hour. Reed told Susan that his presence seemed to be coming from the sacred room. Reed went all the way to this room, but Doom keeps interrupting with his stupid hologram over and over again. As Reed kept telling Doom he will find a way to stop him, his robots, on the other hand, plucked the entire building from the ground and flew with it. Unfortunately, Johnny falls from the building as it was flying away, but manages to fly back only to faint due to the lack of oxygen, and Reed saves him. Reed and Johnny head to the sacred room, but Reed calls it the dangerous room, nerd, and finds a mess. But the mask is still there, but it was another hologram appears and Doom warns them that it feels different this time. Something explodes in the building, and a massive hole almost gets Johnny again. But not only him, Doom's mask, but Reed also catches Johnny in the mask, and does something to the building to ease the situation. Reed's system is back, and Susan asks Ben to take the rest of tenants to Reed's lab for safety. On the other hand, Doom's assistant, you may call her that, is somehow questioning her lord's ability if he can prevent the Fantastic Four from leaving, and he warns her not to do it again, and tells her to only focus on her mission, and they are not her concern. The neighbors join the Fantastic Four in the lab and ask what is going on. Reed tries to figure it out, and asks the system to locate any remaining existence of Doom. Reed explains that they will go back and orders his system to fire up the rockets, and Susan and Johnny will be the ones protecting and landing safely back to Earth. Now back to Earth, this assistant of Doom heads down there and delivers a message of success to her lord. On the other hand, everyone is preparing for the landing from outer space on Earth. Johnny is absorbing the heat, and Susan is protecting the rest. As the building enters the zone of Earth, the system warns Reed that there is a slight problem, and by slight, it's huge. They are going to crash. The building is heading straight and fast. Reed decides if they are going to crash. So be it. Let it crash on Doom's place. Ben warns everyone to get steady for the impact. Doom goes out to see the building heading toward him, and the building lands on the sea and into Doom's place. The Fantastic Four go out and enters Doom's place, and they split up to look for Doom. But Susan, Ben, and Johnny get interrupted by several robots ready to destroy them. Back to Doom's assistant. She is investigating the thing she stole from the Fantastic Four. Reed's system warns him that his backup files are here. Apparently that's the thing she stole. Reed orders his system to shut everything down, and the rest of the three are fighting with the Doom bots. The system has been switched to one of the bots and leads them to Doom's place, and Susan, Ben, and Johnny fight with his assistant as he orders her to destroy them. But she completely crashes down after Susan destroys her. Doom orders them to leave immediately, or he will destroy the building and the tenants, but Reed tells them to leave as well, and a warning goes off in the entire place. Apparently Reed destroyed his lab, and all he's worked for. Doom flees away, and the Fantastic Four leave as well before everything explodes. Several helicopters return the building back again to the city. Monsters break free from the underground, and this time it's like a lava monster and several mud monsters, small ones as well. Johnny fights them as the helicopter reports film them. Susan comes to the rescue, and Reed also joins them, and all of a sudden She-Hulk joins them and tells them not to worry. Ben is now a human again and watches what is happening on TV. He seems sad not to be included in the fight. Now, let's go back in time to when Ben was still the Thing. He is asking Reed about how he will be a human again. He explains to him what he will do. A lot of nerdy things. Alicia asks Reed if it's dangerous, and he confirms, well, not really. Susan and Johnny are watching from the outside, and she asks Ben if he is sure he wants to be a human again, and he assures her that his decision is clear. Reed tells the system to start the process, and it immediately turns Ben again as a human. Ben is shocked when he sees Reed's stretchy body. Alicia is worried, but Susan catches Ben as he was falling. He is in a denial state, or more likely, his memory was erased, and the only thing he remembers is them, the day before flying to space. And before the incident, Reed explains that the memories never existed in Ben's life as they have never happened. Ben is running all around the place. and can't comprehend what is happening and how they all turned into monsters, as he claims. Ben takes the elevator down to the city and runs into the streets and sees the reports, and now they know that he turned into a human again. Good job. On the other hand, the monsters of Moldman are working overtime, and he is planning to take over the Earth, and his monsters show him the news of Ben, and he decides that this is the perfect time to hit them. Reed, Johnny, Susan, and Alicia sit with Ben and try to explain to him what is happening and how they turned. As Ben tries to gather himself, Reed's system warns them that the Moldman is attacking the city, and they rush out to help the city, and Reed tells Ben to stay with Alicia in the building. Susan, Reed, and Johnny go out to stop the Moldman. As they reach the place where it was hit, the scientists tell them that the lab is gone, and they thought it was an earthquake, but a giant hand took the lab and pulled it underground. They were interrupted by the mama monster from the previous episodes and started to grab other things with her down to the ground. Susan asks Reed if they will be going after him, but he tells her, without Ben, it would be too dangerous. Johnny takes them to the building where he interviewed other superheroes to replace Ben. Classic. Meanwhile, Alicia is showing Ben what he looks like, but he states that he is ugly, even after returning to a human, but she assures him that he wasn't ugly and was a hero who saved people, and they loved him. Reed, Johnny, and Susan are interviewing superheroes, but they are not really amused by them. A woman in a suit appears, and Johnny doubts that she is a superhero. Suddenly, she turns into She-Hulk, and the warning goes off of an attack in the city. Reed, Susan, Johnny, and She-Hulk fight with the monsters, and Susan falls into a hole after the building got pulled down, and Reed falls down too. Ben is watching the news and tells Alicia that he needs to do something, but can't without his superpowers. However, he decides to take the fantastic car and go and help them. The rest of the team and She-Hulk are being held by the Moldman. Just as the Moldman was getting ready to destroy everything, Ben arrives and helps them, and they win against the Moldman. Ben tells Reed that he wants to be the Thing again, and he transforms him once more. I really enjoyed these 2 episodes. Remember when the buildings were being pulled down? Now they are in space. Wonderful. I enjoyed the team spirit and how quickly it was for the Fantastic Four to defeat Dr. Doom. It is almost as if it became predictable for them. As for the second episode, it was a really good exposure to Ben's reaction without superpowers, which he has always hated. However, he decides to help his friends, even if he is without superpowers, and that was the cherry on top of the episode. This brings us to the end of today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this one. Your support helps us grow. And tell me, what do you think of these 2 episodes? Do you think the Moldman will be targeting other cities with different superheroes? If one of the Fantastic Four decided to go back to a human, who would you want it to be? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you're watching till now, thank you. I'll see you in another video soon.